Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 687. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Corey Feinside,
Yo, yo.
and Tony
Get
Korkanakis.
some of this liberty.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers. We are live on Twitch Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. Please join us live for these broadcasts. We can chat on the streams with you guys. And if you missed the live broadcast, we are over on YouTube. So subscribe, get notified when we go live or when we post on either channel. We appreciate it, guys. Gamecast, folks. We've got a lot of news this week. A lot of stuff came out. NPD came out last week, I believe, too. We got a lot of stuff to go into this. But before we get into that, anything big you guys been playing, Tony?
More Helldivers.
That's right.
All the issues pretty much have gone away. Knock on wood.
Yeah, we have some news with that. They've been working their butts off,
we do.
and the server capacity I think is up to 800,000 now. I have 700,000 on this thing.
Yeah,
they worked throughout the weekend. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, but other than that, just looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth this week. And
yeah, that's right. That is this week. Who's picking that up, Corey?
Yeah, I played through the demo, so
Cool.
definitely excited for the game. That's obviously number one
it's getting
thing that's on my.
rave reviews. 92.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy has not reviewed this well.
I mean, it's one of
since
my
12.
bold predictions. So,
I mean, it's absolutely a Game of the Year contender now. So
yeah,
I
for sure.
yeah, I gotta get a PlayStation. Jesus, I gotta get a PlayStation.
Wow,
So I know. We all know it. We all know it.
If only somebody said you should have.
Well, I
Saying
mean,
this for like literally a year.
the problem now is like I'm in the year of the PlayStation Pro, which all the reports came out. We forgot to put that in the news
boy.
too. Yeah, do I wait for the Pro or do I
No,
just?
you said you were gonna wait for the Slim, and then you didn't do it. Now we're gonna wait for the Pro, and then
You'd
you're not
always
gonna do
be
that,
waiting,
and then you're like,
yeah.
well, might as well wait for the PlayStation 6 at this point.
We know how
Yeah,
technology
by the
goes.
time
Yeah.
by the time the Pro comes out, the generation will be over at this
Right,
rate.
yeah,
So
might as
Yeah.
well just wait.
I don't know. It's so enticing to hear the leak specs were like double the power, but I'm like, am I gonna even see that stuff? GameStop take advantage of it. I don't know. We'll see. There's some good bundles out there still, so like I'm so I'll have to look at that. But plus they're discounting them more and more, which kind of coincides with a possible release. You see that more and more, so it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy looks awesome. It's getting great reviews. So it's interesting. You guys played the demo. Helldivers still rolling on that, right, guys? Corey,
Helldiver was a lot of fun. Like I played with Tony and some other guys from the PA side, and yeah, we had a great time. I mean, it's like one of those things. It's just the co-op aspect is a lot of fun. Like that's the loop. There's no story really. It's just like
it's democracy. You're spreading democracy, man. There's a story.
Yeah, well, it's just like getting together with friends and just shooting the shit and killing bugs
Literally
or
shooting the
robots.
It really brings me back to like the 360 days with like Halo, Gears, that kind of. I'm sure Destiny, because I fell off Destiny, so I'm sure you guys played it. But
even like Left 4 Dead kind of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Left 4 Dead was just PVE and stuff like that. So I love it. Fantastic title. $40. Can't really.
Oh yeah,
And
price
like,
point was perfect for
the
it.
thing I also appreciate too is that it's just you're gonna drop into a mission, complete the mission or a couple missions, because like what they do is the harder levels they have like sections of the planet that you're trying to like liberate, and like they'll have like if you do this one and this one, combine them, you get more medals, and or if you have three like areas, you clear them out, you get like a bunch of extra medals and stuff if you can do them. And but it's just like super quick. You go and drop and doing the mission, and then you leave, and then you can upgrade stuff, and then go back down and do another one. And there's a variety of different types of things. Like you might have to, eliminate bugs or something, or you have to like escort civilians or send a signal or something. So they do give you a little bit of objectives that are unique and change it up a little bit. And but the thing that's great is also you do need to kind of coordinate with your squad a little bit. Like you don't want to be jumping down with the same stuff where you're not going to be able to have that variety that you need.
Loadout wise.
Or you don't want to jump into a mission, everybody's calling down their payloads, and all of a sudden there's an explosion and team wipes you, and then you see one of your teammates call down an airstrike instead of their gear, which happened to us on Friday night. It was like, Apple? It's like, I thought I summoned my machine gun. It's like, you clearly fucking didn't, buddy. Like,
oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, we screenshot it. There's what is that? Accidentals. It's like there's actual line item in these stats. It's like accidentals, so you can see when how many times you've killed your teammates. Because there's friendly fire. I mean, the friendly fire is
it adds to the
no
kills.
joke.
I like it.
It is definitely part of the game that's a lot of fun for
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, and you can have fun with randoms too. Like you absolutely can like just go in and like now that the server capacity and the network and the matchmaking is kind of fixed, you're absolutely going to be able to link up with people no problem.
Yeah.
So
They've done a lot of work, which is cool.
Mhm.
So
I recommend. But yeah, and the Final Fantasy demo is gorgeous and it was a lot of fun, and getting back into that world was really cool. And yeah, it definitely gets you hyped up for the release.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
I've just been playing more Infinite Wealth. I'm in the final chapter, which is very long for a final chapter. I don't know where you are in that game.
I'm in chapter
but-
5, so early on.
Okay.
I'm probably near the end of chapter 5 now. Yeah, because I just
No,
started
you're getting close to the midway point, but I'm still waiting to see how you react to like 7, 8-ish that chapter change, because there's a big shift in how the game kind of even structured at that point. It's a long final chapter. There's a point of no return. It's almost like you have to beat the game twice. It seems like it's two different situations. But yeah, 70 something hours in, I'm enjoying it. I like it way more than the first.
No,
Like a Dragon.
no, hold the phone. Get out of here. Get
Final
out
Fantasy
of here.
VII.
Well, listen, I did
Fantasy
not like
VII,
the game
Mike,
the first 3. No, I'm not gonna play that. I didn't like the first 3 chapters of this game.
No, I get
it was
I
not
get
grabbing
It's
me
just
early.
funny because I don't know. I just feel like this is your shtick, just like Jim's shtick is he hates open world games. That's all he fucking plays.
That's all I play. Yeah, but I mean, I think you're opening up to the RPGs, and I the way that FF7 is looking for Game of the Year stuff, you might want to consider diving in finally.
Yeah, this game is its own contender in its own right. It got, I don't know if it really deserves the 90s it got compared to the other Yakuza games out there, but because I'm still a brawler first guy in this series. But
I said we were having a conversation today on the Discord about the layoffs and everything like that, which we're going to get into shortly. But like, I feel like I can't fault. I don't even know if I posted this. I forgot. I think I deleted this comment, but I can't fault Sega for making a game like this close to what they did before. Like, it's very close to the vest. It's a sequel, true sequel. It doesn't like do like last year we talked about the sequels where they were like leaps and bounds improvements on the. This doesn't do that leaps and bound improvement. But I don't fault Sega for this. You spent a lot of money in development of these games, and you're still releasing a product that's very good. I'm not taking anything away from this product. It just
But see, from the Like a Dragon Yakuza series, this is a big leap because they normally reuse everything unapologetically as much as they can.
I guess that's
having
true.
that whole Hawaii section. That's huge. They very
never
rarely
left
add
it.
new. No, it's the first time they're out of Japan story wise. Even though everyone is Japanese there, which is funny. But they've never like added a new city of this size like ever. They've added littler, smaller cities where you go like half and half maybe with an established city, but they've always been building on like the same city over and over. Maybe there's like 2 or 3 eventually, and but yeah, the Honolulu section is very big. It's the biggest map in the city. It's still not the only map in the game. I mean, so yeah, this is a big leap for them, sort of. But
for what
they know how to.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, for what they you know they're not wasteful. Let's just say that the way that this series goes. So yeah, no. I should be done with it next week, and we'll see how the controversial ending goes, because I know there's some controversy around this ending among the fans, but we'll see what I think about it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move into the news and talk about. We'll open with the lead, which is today. Sony's PlayStation division layoffs. 900 900 employees
8%
laid off. 8% of the company, between Insomniac Games, Naughty Dog, their entire London studio VR, Gorilla, and Firespite. Big spanning 800 people lost their job today. Never great in this industry, and this 900. Just say
900, 8% of the
8%, 900. It does. I mean, both numbers are horrible.
No, yeah,
900 is worse. Obviously, we had this year we are in the end of February. End of February. And we have had 1,900 from Microsoft, 900 from Sony, 1,800 from
Embracer.
Embracer. We had a smaller group. I think we just had another one last week as well. What was the smaller group? It was 60 employees laid off from.
Sure.
Not right. What was the company?
Riot did have layoffs, but
Riot did as well. But... I forgot to link.
It's hard to keep track of them all at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot. Somebody posted it all. Like there's layoffs. It's just it's a horrible year for this, and like and
really
got
to give up on the whole year thing too. We said last year was horrible, and it's just a continuation. It's just a thing. It's almost like you can't even count it by years anymore. It's just this is going to be happening for a period of time.
It's weird that it's just like I don't know. It's a lot of jobs being lost, and it's. You can't say they stocked up on people last year on hirings. It's just been more contraction in the industry, right? I mean, that's really what's happening. Is it because of the unsustainable AAA game format? I mean, is that the biggest problem right now, or is it all games? Are all games too expensive to develop for? Is that the like? What is this? What is causing this problem?
Of those factors, right? And it's unfortunate because I mean. I briefly mentioned this last week, right, when we were talking about the Sony Q3 financials and talking about how Jim Ryan's exiting and the new CEO of, SEEI is taking over. And I said that, like, reading in between the lines on his statements of, like, by the way, like, this is my hopes for my first year and, like, the direction of the company. I said, reading in between the lines, this sounds like layoffs, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you hear an executive talking about efficiencies and growth and all this other stuff, that's like, alarm should be going off, right? And I am ashamed to say that, like, I did not expect to have that statement come true the next week, right? I was expecting maybe like a month in or something like that, but no.
Or little by little, as things kind of get a clearer picture of what direction you're going to be going in, and like as you're taking over, like you said, he's taking over and stuff, and you think that he'd take the time to kind of evaluate what it looks like, but instead it's like, nope, here we go.
This gives them
cut out all this fat right away.
This gives them more of a you can push it on the old guy. You push on the
exactly.
That's what you can do.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was, and it's totally scummy too because even the studio that closed, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I apologize. He was just there. He was just there because he lives in London, and their London studio. He showed up and they had like a farewell Jim Ryan party for him. He took a picture with a bunch of the devs, and it's just like. He knew while he was standing there taking that picture, like, you guys are losing your job next week. Like, that, I mean, look, I understand to be a C-level executive at any company requires the sacrifice of some non-zero amount of humanity. But, like, I as a person, like, if I knew, like, shit, all these people are going to lose their jobs because of me next week, I'd be like, I'm good. I don't like taking pictures. I would just never want to see that. Ever, and that's just going to be posted online until the end of time. And when that dude dies, I hope somebody fucking puts that picture there on his fucking grave. Because fuck Jim Ryan, right? I have to say this, great. I have to be consistent because I said fuck Phil Spencer, when we covered Microsoft. And I said this
equal opportunity.
I said this when Jim Ryan became, the executive over Sony, because the first thing he did was he shut down all those Japanese studios, right? And I was like, whoa. I was like, look, I understand the Japanese studios that make the Sony games aren't like the biggest AAA blockbuster titles, but they fulfill like a niche in your portfolio, like everybody like what is it, the Everybody Golfs or whatever. You have the Gravity Rushes, this and the other thing. You had The Last Guardian, you had Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, which were more prestige games on a AA budget and stuff like that. So when he comes in and just fucks those people over, I was like, okay, right? And then when he moved the headquarters out of Japan into, was it Europe or America? I forget, one of the two, right? I was like, Europe. Well, that's weird too. Like, that's not a good sign, right? And then, you see him hearing shit like, why would anyone ever want to play Gran Turismo 2? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, maybe anybody that played that fucking game growing up, like, I don't know, man. Like, I love playing my old games. Like, and then you point to, like, when Nintendo released the mini NES, that sold out, was a unicorn, and then mini SNES, and then the year after, Sony's like, hey guys, we got a mini PS1. It's like, didn't you just say who wants to play these fucking old games? Like, what are you talking about, dude? So, yeah, anyway, fuck Jim Ryan. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's old, and I hope we never fucking hear from him again.
And the new guy's not starting off great either. So, there you go.
No.
The industry is just like I said, though. Like, is it over budgeting? Is it like
Absolutely.
not making? We've talked about development scope too. Like, is it too much growth? Like, too much like expanding?
It's worthwhile to look at the individual each company, that each development studio that is affected here. We have a VR one. We know VR is not ever going to be profitable. It seems like
it's not a big grab. Yeah, go on.
No. What else do we have?
And we got the big companies. Insomniac
just
launched a successful Spider-Man.
Well, I'm saving that for the end because I think there's something going on there. Honestly, Guerrilla, we know, has the worst timing with their biggest game. The amount of money they put into Horizon, they need it to be bigger winners than it is, but it always gets screwed by releasing.
I mean, for them, I think their biggest moneymaker right now is going to be their engine. Like, they should be focusing on that.
Sure. I don't know what the Fire whatever company did, the last one.
I can
Fire Sprite or whatever.
I don't know what they did either on this one, but
I think they were working on the Twisted Metal Games as a Service game.
Okay.
That got canceled, by the way.
Yeah, so that's a canceled Games as a Service game. Naughty Dog's been working on a canceled Games as a Service game too, so and they haven't really released anything new in a while, just re-releases. So that's that one too. But go to Insomniac and you look at Spider-Man 2, and I mean, Insomniac, we're cheating a little bit because we have all this extra information about them, but I just don't understand how that game, short as it is, reusing a fair amount of animations, and you assume the map costs that much money, $300 million, and what's what's going on? I know, but what's going on? I mean, maybe, but
we could cite all sorts of things. First of all, budgets are being inflated because the cost of employees, right? That's the bulk of your development costs, is how you take your X amount of employees that you have, hundreds now for these video games, AAA, times the number of years that they need to produce a game. And the time to produce games are getting longer, right? We've even cited Naughty Dog.
At least 5.
Right? On PS3, they knocked out Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. And we're lucky to get one, maybe 2 games from them.
PS4, we're probably not even getting a Last of Us game native to PlayStation 5.
It'll be cross-gen,
yeah. So I mean, that's the part there. Not to mention, Spider-Man is an expensive license, right? So yeah, Spider-Man 2 was very expensive. It was $300 million. But again, you look at Last of Us 2 and God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West, and those are around 200 million, right? 200. I think one of them was 220, one of them was 200, and one was maybe just under 190 or something like that. So, this is just the minimum cost to make these games anymore. And that's just the sheer development. Because you're not making a game with just 100 to 200 people. I mean, this is like 300-400 people.
Precise teams,
You have voice actors. You have voice actors from every, popular language these days worldwide. Motion capture, right? Every cinematic is fucking expensive as shit, right? And we even talked about, Mike, you brought up the other week, how Remedy, right?
On Wake.
It was cheaper just to fucking film actual actors than produce CG footage.
That's crazy,
like that.
but yes, it is. But I get it. I can see it absolutely.
Right? So that's what it is. And when you're talking about technology, because again, PlayStation and Sony have trained their customers that, hey, you really want cutting edge. You want futuristic graphics today, right? And again, I'm not saying that was a bad thing. It worked up until this generation, right? For the most part, but the math, again, the calculus doesn't work out, right? Because again, I've said it before, PlayStation and Xbox, because Nintendo kind of broke off and they're doing their own thing, combined sell approximately 150 to 200 million units every generation, right? Ballpark. You can't keep selling these AAA blockbuster experiences that cost 100 million, 150, 200, 250, 300 million, right? To that same audience without starting to charge games $80, $90, $100. We're not even talking about the $70 price point anymore, which again, so many people in the general public had huge issues with, right? the numbers just don't support that. So it's a thing where the balance is broken, and they are having to readjust right now. And the words from the new guy coming in, if you read that letter, he says we have to rethink our strategy with platforms. And just like people got super mad with Xbox just the past 2-3 weeks, I honestly think we're going to see Sony games day and date on PC now from now on.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think also the Helldivers success pushes that a little better too. I think like Helldivers 2.
Do you think that cannibalizes a little bit though? Because I feel like they really have just recently learned to enjoy having basically a second release a year or two later for all of their big AAA things on.
If anything,
you might
and if you have
cannibalize a little
crossplay,
bit
if
if you
anything,
do
it's
it at
gonna
the same
push it
time.
forward. Like
it's gonna push it.
You're getting people to be
though,
like,
but I mean,
no, I'm
we're
saying
talking
that's what
about
I'm saying. Like I
AAA
bought Helldivers on PC, but then I'm like, dude, go get Helldivers, play it. And he's like, I don't have a PC. That's like, you have PlayStation, get the PlayStation version. It's like, it's gonna go both
not the
ways.
type of games I'm talking about though. Helldivers is a different type of
No, he's talking about single player experience games, but you're also looking at you're looking at it like this. Let's say you released Horizon, a year before. Obviously, Horizon 2 is not out yet on the PC, or is it coming? Is it out now? I don't remember, but it's coming soon. And let's say you're going to release it next week or whatever it is. You've already gone past a year of your hype, your original marketing for the game. Like if you release it day and date on PC, yeah, but then you got to spend more money on the marketing.
Well, I don't know.
My point stays the same. It doesn't change the fact that if you're enjoying a game on one platform, it's like, oh, you could play this, and it's available on another platform that you have. Then
that's what I'm saying. Like,
money off it.
There's no harm in putting it on PC day one because you're not cannibalizing your PS5 sales. You're still going to buy on the PS5. People who have the PS5 are buying on the PS5 still.
You think they would sell?
You're getting money either way.
If you did it all at once like that, you think they would sell as many copies as the way they've been doing it, where they wait?
It's simple math. It's more availability. It's simple math. You have more access to more people. It's just.
But by separating
it, no, you're not.
You have that hype again.
Mike, see, the thing is, then you remaster it and sell it on both platforms as a remastered format instead of just one remastered format.
1 year later, yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, the thing is here is like they have the data, right? And this was all an experiment for Sony a couple of years ago when they started with Horizon, the first one, right? Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And they know they sold. They talk about it in PR. They talk about it in investor calls and stuff like that. And the most recent one, they said we are going to increase our PC focus, right? So I'm sure the fucking accountants and the financiers over at the fucking company looked at the data that they have and said, look, yeah, okay, we might lose X many sales of PlayStation 5 for people who are just on PC, right? So I'm sure there is a non-zero number there. But the amount of people that now you can sell Spider-Man 3, Wolverine, Last of Us 3, whatever, day one, that number outweighs the people that aren't just going to buy a PlayStation 5 for exclusivity.
I'm not just talking about buying that though. I mean, like, there's people who have both, obviously.
Sure.
But then you cannibalize the individual sales of the game if you have it like someone has a PC and a PlayStation, and you might it's just one group then when you do that with that release. When you do it the other way, it's like you're selling to a whole new market.
That's what they're doing now.
You know what I mean?
That's what they would do, is they would sell to a whole new market.
But there's still the overlap of people who might have both hardware. That's what I mean.
It's not a lot of overlap. It's not as much as you think. Like, it's not as much as you think. There's PC gamers, there's PS5 players.
It may vary depending on the game, but I don't think it's going to be as impactful to have a staggered release like that as much as you might think.
We'll see, because I think it's happening. I think Tony's right.
And I mean, the thing is, you take you just look, right, and we can even cite the recent examples. Okay, Infinite Wealth, right? Multi-platform release, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Fastest selling Yakuza Like a Dragon game ever. Same thing with Persona, right? We looked 2 years ago, Elden Ring broke records because literally it launched on everything day and date, right? Because when you are in that moment, when you get that hype, right? When you break that barrier, same thing with Baldur's Gate 3. Let's talk about that, right? Which, according to Jim, is coming to Game Pass next month.
Mm-hmm.
As in like 2 days. We'll see, right?
Well, I got a whole month. I got the month.
I know.
It is 30. Yeah, it's 31 days. I got a shot.
You have these games that when they get the buzz, right? you want to buy that game then and there, right? And we could look at Helldivers right away.
Yeah.
You know,
Helldivers is
Pal World, same thing. People just wanted to play that game. So if you wait like a year, right, or a year and a half, whatever Sony's been waiting, 2 years, and I think God of War's instant or whatever like that, you will get sales, but you lose that momentum, right?
Because that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
It's like then there's going to be some other game that the Steam, the PC players are going to want to play, right?
Like there's the hot game. Like let's say Horizon launches right now on PC. Well, everybody's playing Helldivers. Yeah, but everybody's playing Helldivers right now.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
You're going with a hot hand, and so if you release it at the same time, like you said, if you had launched Helldivers on all the systems, I can't even imagine how many would have sold so far. I don't even know, but so it makes sense. It makes them money. But all right, let's move on. Let's talk about some Nintendo Direct stuff because that was last week. We had a developer direct, right? It was like their third parties. Yeah, partner direct. Sorry, partner direct. It was their third parties. Partner direct, as in Microsoft, by the way.
Yeah, which kicked off the show.
Yeah, Pentiment and what was the other one?
Grounded.
Grounded was first. So Grounded and the Pentiment are both coming to the Switch, which is impressive. Not impressive, but expected, I think. Mm-hmm. So do we have did they have a date on those yet or no? And then now I know why they also didn't talk about it on that stupid podcast that Microsoft did, like the dumb thing. Like I get it, but they don't have that. That's just dumb.
Yeah. So Grounded's April 16th.
April 16th, yeah. And
Penimit's actually Penimit's already out.
Peniment is on tomorrow. It was launched last week. Yep. So that was interesting. Hi-Fi Rush, by the way, is coming to PS5. Same thing. But I think getting some remakes, like we got Epic Mickey rebrushed on this as well. I don't want to jump around. Do you want me to jump around? I'm sorry, I was going to jump around, but
no, I'm just looking at the list. We just talk about the titles that are kind of interesting. Like I think Epic Mickey is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was sort of as a Wii exclusive. Then with the sequel, they kind of ported it around to everybody. Lesser sales, but I think more crowded market. So it's interesting to see something else come out of.
It's like fully rebuilt.
Right. Yeah. Like that's not like just like a remaster. Like people have put together like footage, like side by side comparison. I'm like, wow, that looks really good. And I never played it, so I was like,
and it's different animations too. It's not even like
yeah, exactly. Like they put
it's completely rebuilt
into it, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else we've got here? We've got well, I mean I think the Rare games coming back. The SNES games been announced as well. There was 5 Rare games coming that they came during this broadcast. Killer Instinct, Battletoads, Snake Rattle and Roll, RC Pro-Am, which is great, and Blast Corps, which are more Microsoft owned properties that used to be obviously on N64 and other consoles, but SNES. But all coming. They all came to the subscription service. What's it called? Expansion pack.
Well, I mean, the NES and SNES is just Nintendo Switch Online. 64.
Okay, that's Switch Online. N64's expansion pack. Yeah. So interesting. They launched. It's exciting.
That was impressive. I mean, like it really shows that Microsoft is full in on this pseudo first party, pseudo third party thing, because it's like, well,
all in on something.
All in on something, right? I mean, if it's not on their own system, at least it's all in on something else, right?
Yep. We got Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection coming. March 14th
too.
And it's coming to everything. Yes, 64 players online.
That looks cool. I never got into those games, but I've heard good things about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I've played the newer Battlefronts and I liked them more than I guess most people. But everyone, or the conversation around is like, "Oh, the old ones are better." I'm like, "How?" Because I remember playing like at someone's house, which is not a good experience ever because you don't know the controls, you don't know the game. They're like cruising through everything and killing you, or just like why aren't you doing this? But so I didn't have a fair shake at the originals, but apparently in general everyone prefers them. They're the good Battlefronts.
Yeah, because I actually played. I played microtransaction, battle pass, fucking bullshit. Interfere with your actual just enjoyment of the fucking game. Because again, number one most downloaded thing of all time, I think, on Reddit when that news broke.
Yeah, that is like I said, there's 64 players coming to everything. Steam,
and there's new
Xbox,
content too. There's actually new content.
Yeah.
I think it was like new stages.
March 14th.
I have to give that a look.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Couple weeks.
again, it is. And going back to layoffs, I mean, just a couple of years, Disney let all their fucking studios languish, right? They closed them down.
Yep.
And then now you have fucking Bob Iger being like, yeah, we really think video games have are the main source of growth for us. It's like, wow, it's like going from 0 to any number above 0 is better than than nothing.
0?
Wow, that's weird. That is weird, Bob. I can't believe you're a C-level executive and you fucking make hundreds of $1 million. Fuck you.
Yep. All right. Endless Ocean, Luminous, coming May 2nd. So that's what was that? That was a Wii game, right? The original one?
Yeah, it was a niche title Nintendo did with, I forget the company at the time, but I mean, it's about exploring the ocean. You're just a diver. You go down into the ocean depths and you swim around, take pictures of fish and aquatic life and stuff like that. It was a pretty chill, like, relaxed game. Newer people or younger audience, whatever, they might be familiar with, like, Subnautica, which is like kind of like that plus Minecraft underwater. There's no Minecraft options, but like there was like I think a 32-player online announced with this, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's not like obviously it's not going to sell like 10 million copies or anything like that, but as a like, oh, this is a series that hasn't been around in 15 years, like it's pretty interesting. One title I did like was they announced a new Super Monkey Ball.
Oh, really?
Banana Rumble, yeah. So
nice.
I'm excited for
original,
that.
like brand new or
brand new and done by somebody actually from the Like a Dragon studio. So it's internal, hopefully, and that gives me better faith and hope that this will be a slam dunk. You know, like I gotta hope, right? Because I love that series and seeing what happened to it over the years made me sad.
Yeah, that was. We'll see. Let's see. They had South Park Snow Day on that, right? Did they have that on that one? Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for that one. I like the original
Is that
2
that
games.
Weird 3D one?
What else we have? Oh yeah, it's a 3D. Not weird. It's like cel shaded. It's good.
Yes,
I like the first 2. All right. What else we've got? We've got Contra coming March 12th. Operation Galuga.
Oh yeah, I did play the demo there. I forgot to mention that. There's a free demo on all the systems. Pretty solid. You know, the graphics are kind of I wish they were pixel art, but you know, you're not getting that these days. And the music's kind of but everything else is tight. One title I'm interested in is Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, which sounds so weird, but it was the 3DS title. This is made by Game Freak, so the people that did Pokemon. They make original titles from time to time. People just never market it or buy it.
You don't notice it. Yeah, you don't notice it. Yep.
But actually, last year, Apple, with their Apple Arcade deal, right, which is their Game Pass version or whatever like that, they actually got Game Freak to do a version, like a new version of the game. Did really well, was well received, well reviewed, and everything like that. And so for the last year, everybody was like, "Please fucking port this." Like, when's the exclusivity end? So that ended, and it's out already. And it's like takes I guess solitaire. It's a game where it's half solitaire and like half horse race betting, and it's just kind of weird, but you know, I don't know, it's fun. So there's a demo. Try it out.
Yep. Unicorn Overlord tactical RPG.
Yep. Also free demo
good.
that transfers to the main game. Check it out.
Yeah. Awesome old throwback game. That's the old style, old tactical RPG.
Yeah, it looks like a combination of like Fire Emblem and like Ogre Battle, Shining Force, I guess, or whatever like that.
Yeah. You want to talk about Penny's Big Breakaway?
Yeah. I mean, I looked at the mic. I thought that looked good, actually. Like.
Yeah. This was the Sonic Mania.
It looks
team.
like it was meant to be a Sonic game, but then it wasn't.
Is that what that's all you'll see from it when you?
I wonder if they really were like, "Hey, Sega, thanks for letting us work on 2D Sonic. We got something for 3D Sonic," and they're just like, "Yeah, we're gonna remake Shadow the Hedgehog, actually."
Yeah.
Sonic team is all full of shit, man. Like really, like I can't stand any of their decisions. I'm so glad that even though the game is not terrible by any stretch, but I'm glad Superstars was disappointing for them because just their attitude going into that, just like, oh, we can't do pixel art anymore. No one wants that. That's not the future. Fuck you. Yes, it is. And for 2D, you fucked up, and this game is a failure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job.
Anything else game wise, Tony?
No, that was pretty much it.
Okay. All
right,
let's
for
do
the
Direct.
Direct, and then today we had the Pokemon news.
Then we had the Pokemon. I was just going into next. So Pokemon Trading Card mobile game announced. Big game So you get 2 free packs a day. I was looking at this.
That's super generous, actually. For a fucking
it is.
Free-to-play game. Like none of the other card game online things do it. Like Hearthstone doesn't do it, Magic doesn't do it, stuff like that. So 2 free packs a day is pretty generous. I'm not gonna play it, but good for the people.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, good that they'll get into it. Let's see, another Pokemon Legends game was announced.
That I'm super excited for, right? Because Pokemon Legends Arceus was, I thought, the most innovative of the Pokemon games on Switch, because it
was a separation from what they were doing.
It was a separation from like the classic formula. You ran around in real time and like you could just equip Pokeballs and just run by them and like throw them and catch the Pokemon. Like you didn't have to stop. You didn't have to. You could if you wanted to, right? But I'm like, I need to catch like 20 of these guys. Just like throw, and you just like catch them, and just really cool and stuff like that. So I'm glad it was successful, and they're making another one. But debuts next year, so question mark. Right?
Question.
When next year?
I'm gonna guess March.
Quarter 1.
So
which I guess is the last big news we can end on, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's the NPD stuff, but is there anything of note? I mean, not really much. Not good numbers. Not good numbers. Yeah.
People getting laid off.
Oh, also, I do want to talk about that Tekken 8 that sold Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's impressive for Tekken. Well, Tekken 8's, I don't know if it's bad or impressive. Tekken 8 is really good, or like Tekken 8 is really good. Yeah, or really bad.
In no world, Suicide Squad should have lost.
Yeah.
Except for this one, because it was terrible.
A Rocksteady game. How the mighty have fallen.
Get ready for those layoffs, or even that whole studio going.
Oh yeah, Warner Brothers already hinted that this week about how it underperformed. I'm like, yeah, no shit. But anyway, so we had the news about Nintendo's unannounced Switch sequel is getting not coming this year. We've heard that it's coming quarter 1 of next year.
As insiders like to say, delayed. It's like, how can you delay something? That wasn't
It's not been dated yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that this fall looks kind of sparse.
Yes.
But we talked about that in our anticipated podcast actually a lot. If you want to go back on YouTube, but we did talk about that. But but I do think that again, the Switch likes to the Switch launched I think in March as well, and so it makes sense for it to the sequel come out earlier in the year.
That's what I said last time, and you're like, no, they'll do it holiday.
Yeah, I don't know.
It makes sense to do holiday, but
I just know that I know they were aiming because everyone was talking about that. I think Matt Piscatella from Circana Group, wherever he's with now, was talking about the fact that they were getting it this year because of projections. They wanted to because for the year, because the year is really sparse.
Right. Well, I mean, I love Matt. We follow each other on Twitter, but his job. His interest, he wants to paint the game industry in the brightest light possible, and I adore that, and that's great and all. But to just highlight positives and not talk about the negatives, it's icky. With that though, I mean the thing, it kind of makes sense, right? Because launching this year, if you don't have the units, because Nikkei, which is a Japanese outlet, who's usually spot on the money, I think they even announced there's going to be a Nintendo 3DS announcement at and then at E3 Nintendo's like, no, we have nothing to announce, and then a week after E3 they're like, Nintendo 3DS guys, and it's like, wait, what the fuck, or whatever. Maybe it was the new 3DS or whatever it was, but anyway, they said that it was to have more units at launch to prevent the scalpers and stuff like that.
That's what they're looking at. I mean, I am happy to hear that, but I feel like it's not going to work still. But we'll see. I just
no. You're absolutely right. The thing is, if it's a hot commodity, hot item, there's always going to be some degree of scalping. But I think launching a system that is going to sell out in November versus March is a huge difference, right?
We talked about that. We've talked about this. We've had this conversation from the Switch launch. Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Because I mean, that was bad for the PS5. In the Xbox, even Xbox sold out. At launch, people were just out for blood. Just rioting, unhappy. It was this shit show. I mean, even the Switch, the first year was a shit show, and then with the pandemic, the first 2 years for PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I get it if that's their job. And then the side benefit is any of the launch titles get extra time for development, and that makes a better game. So that's fine. It does suck a little bit, right? That we might lose out on some games this holiday season, but
yeah. But hey, we'll see what comes out. Like, they're gonna announce it, I would assume, towards the end of the year. Then.
Well, no, we'll definitely hear about it next month, because again, Nintendo's fiscal year ends, and they have to.
Well, they'll do the investors.
They have to do
the investors one.
They have to give projections for the following year, right? So
yeah,
they can't just be like, "Hey, we're only selling 12 million Switch units next year," because investors be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, they know.
They have to disclose that kind of information. So
well, they will, but I mean, we'll see it. I think we'll see it towards the end of the year.
Oh, no.
Fall.
I think they announce, "Hey, we're working on something, next generation of Switch," and then come June, E3 time, like usual.
I was thinking more September, if it's coming March. But go on.
Well,
I get you.
I
mean, it could be.
I think June we'll see like a teaser or something, and then September we'll have more information, like the blowout, like, hey, like actual details, launch date, price, lineup of games, stuff like that. So
cool. All right, and that is it for this episode, folks. That's gonna wrap up this podcast. Once again, thanks for tuning in. We are live on Twitch Tuesday nights, 8:00. Thanks for joining us. If you join us live on these streams, all of our YouTube stuff, like all of our content's over on YouTube. I'm sorry, you can subscribe to both channels, and that way you get notified when we post over there, when we go live here, and you can go back on the old catalog because Twitch only keeps us for a week. So we do appreciate everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We are done for the week. We'll see you next week.